multiple sources say Matt Canada is gone after this season. Who do you guys want to see replace him?
How'd you feel about those stories? I was going to ask you that, man.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Exactly, because I saw where the first report came from, and I was like, okay.
I will believe it when I see it because those aren't the vibes I'm getting right now. I mean, you can always bring up like the locker room or behind the scenes. You know, they all are against Canada and they know the writing's on the wall. But what I'm seeing on the field is the offense is buying in.
It kind of reminds me of like when we would see reporters come out locally and be like, yeah, man, we got the story, man. This is about to happen. And then Schefter drops something that's like the complete opposite. And you're like, bro, you had us believing it was going to be this, this, and this. And it turned out, man, y'all ain't really know what y'all was on, man.
So you're saying we need to get Schefter on this one?
I'm just simply saying I'm with you, Deke. I will believe it when I see it. All of these sources in terms of the quotation, stuff like that, man. Yeah, man, I'll believe it when I see it. That's all.
Seems like Canada and Kenny's relationship is kind of decent.
Yeah.
They're going back and forth, talking plays, running ideas off each other. I mean, those are, if you want to talk reports, those are reports I've heard over the last month or so.
Yeah. So.
Now, if it happens, it happens. Yeah. And, yeah, we could talk about OCs and stuff. But as we're sitting right now, I'm not opposed to bringing them back.
That's how I feel.
Because I think we're building something good. Everything in this second half has been trending up. So why change that? I think a lot of the things people are complaining about with the offense in terms of getting more points and, you know, we need more red zone touchdowns. Like, why aren't we converting as much? I just don't feel like a lot of that's on Canada. If you go game in and game out, we've had a lot of drops for touchdowns. We had Pickett make some overthrows. We have some missed field goals thrown in there too.
Yeah.
I just don't really feel like it's all on Canada. Sure, I mean, yeah, he could continue to improve and clean up some stuff on his own, but I like the direction the offense is going. I never thought I'd say like I'm one of Canada's sworn enemies, dating back to last year because of what happened and how they sabotaged
Did
Penn.
you
But
say you're one of Canada's sworn
I am.
enemies?
So I mean, if you're getting me to actually be open to the idea of him coming back next year, and actually at this point giving it the okay, I think that's how good the offense has turned around since the bye.
I would agree. It's just funny too, man, when I think of just how we want to put blame on certain people for certain things, even when it doesn't really add up. And I've seen some of the criticism of late or at times was Canada needs to be fired because George Pickens doesn't have any targets. Canada needs to be fired because Freiermuth doesn't have any targets. And then you cut the film and it's like, these dudes are open at times, or it's a reason why they weren't targeted on that particular play.
Or running the ball. Really good. Remember the Falcons game?
Exactly. But think about it, people were tripping on the Falcons game because we weren't throwing the ball more as we're running the ball down their throats. And it's just like,
Deontay's wide open.
like,
but Deontay,
what?
going back to the drops, Deontay dropped that one drag route in the red zone.
Absolutely. But once again, though, Deontay's wide open. Like you just said, he gets the target. It's an easy throw and catch, keeps the offense moving, and everything works fine. Nope, bad play. He picked up 7. You should have thrown it up to George Pickens. Why? Because we just wanted you to get the ball to George Pickens. You know what? Fire Matt Canada. That's the way it be sounding at times. Just like, yo, I don't get it, man. Do we want the offense to be successful? Has the offense been being successful since the bye week? Hasn't this all been what we've been talking about? So, yeah. But at the end of the day, man, if they do move on from him, then, yeah, we'll look to see who's out there. But I'm not one of them people that, oh, man, Nathaniel Hackett just got fired. We should go fire him. We go hire him. It's like,
I don't know. Based off how things went in Denver,
that.
I want Hackett
like
right
seriously, like, that's what like, that's the part that just baffles me at times. I'm like, so we're so quick to run to go get the person that we just saw fail at something and bring them over here because of what they did somewhere else in a totally different scenario with a totally different
with an Aaron
situation.
Rodgers.
I'm just like, what are we trying to do here? It's just like, are we changing just for the sake of making change? And that's my whole, when we first brought it up at the beginning of the year, when it was talking about the bye week and who should get fired and all that stuff, I'm like, yo, if you're just talking about making a change for the sake of making change, I don't agree with that. If this is something where we're talking about a tangible improvement or we have seen a lack of improvement, I think that would be a different conversation as well. But there is no way that you're watching the tape and you're studying the thing that you're supposed to be studying and looking at scheme, productivity, effectiveness, players feeling more comfortable and confident in this thing. It's no way you're evaluating all those things and watching this offense and saying that you have not seen that on a consistent basis since the bye week. And that's my whole thing. I'm like, you're going to fault them, or now you want to say that, hey, they're progressing and we can see all these things we were hollering about, but now we don't want it because, hey, it's the same person at the head of this thing. That's change for the sake of change then. And like I said, that's for me, that's not something that I really like to do.
Now, if the report is true, then sure, move on, because you want everyone clicking. You want everyone on the same page.
Yeah.
But that's not the feel I'm getting from watching these games on Sundays.
I would agree.
So that's a tough report for me to believe, especially even going back to the connection that Canada and Kenny had whenever he was in high school and getting recruited for college.
Exactly.
So it's weird. I mean, I guess it makes sense because it's just something to throw out there as we're getting some positive momentum. Hey, let's just get a story going.
Hey,
and I guess 13 points against the Raiders, it's some low-hanging fruit.
Oh, yeah.
But again, Boz missed 2 field goals.
But no.
We moved the ball fine.
Like you said, there's low-hanging fruit if you don't have context.
Muth dropped one in the red zone.
Remember,
wide open.
If you don't have context. And what was the thing that we were always hollering about in those first 4 or 5 games? When everybody was on fire this and do that. And it's like, no, context matters. When you're looking into the context of it, that is why Coach Tomlin and the Steelers operate the way they operate, because they understand the context. They understand, this is Coach Tomlin, the minutia. That's something that he always like to say, the minutia, the little things, because that's the difference between being good and having sustained success versus being a flash in the pan or just running the rat race, just essentially never getting any type of progress, because every time you feel like you're doing something positive, oh man, let's blow it up. It ain't fast enough. Let's switch it up again. And now you reset it. The Steelers don't operate like that, baby. And that's why they've been able to have the sustained success that they've been having. We can criticize whatever we want to criticize in terms of what we deem success. But even with that, regardless of how we want to paint it, you can't talk about successful organizations, successful teams without talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. And that's just what it is right now.